Hi everyone, I am Jack and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. This is day 4 of our 30 days C programming challenge. Today's topic is printf and scanf functions in C. So without any delay, let's dive right in. So what is printf? Printf is used to display output on the screen or in the terminal. And what is scanf? Scanf is used to take input from the user. These both are defined in stdio.h header file. First, coming to printf. If we write anything inside printf statement with double quotes, that will be as it is shown on the screen or in the terminal. Like if I write printf and in double quotes, close the bracket and with a semicolon, then this gives an output as hello world. Right. Let's see this in the code. Open your VS Code and let's create a folder, that is day 4, and let's create a file in it. Let's say print.c, and let's include the header file. And open your main function. Open it. Now this is the place where you need to write your print statement, like printf, and in the double quotes, hello world. Let's put a semicolon at the end of it, and let's run it. So you got an output hello world, right? So if I write hello, like this, and run the out, so it printed as hello, welcome to my world, right? If I write anything inside it, it will be as this printed on the output in the terminal. So this is about a printf statement. But what if you want to print a value that we define as a variable? So I mean that, so if I define a variable like num is equals to 10, and I want to print this, like in the print statement, printf in double quotes, the number is, and I should print like the number is 10. So if I write the number is num and put a semicolon and run this, will it going to print me as the number is 10? Let's see that. No, it's not printing. So it's instead of that, it's printing the number is num. It's printing as it is in the printf. But what if I need like the number is 10? So instead of num, it should print its value. So is there any way to print this value? For that, we have format specifiers. Let's see it. So what are format specifiers? Format specifiers are used to indicate the data type of a variable being processed. They act as placeholder that tells the compiler how to interpret and format the data, right? Let's say this is the main function. Inside it, we declared a value like int num is equals to 10, right? And there is a printf statement like the number is num. So this is what we wrote, right? To print this value, instead of num, we use format specifiers. So as we are going to print the integer data type, right? So for that, we use the format specifier of a integer data type, that is %d. So %d is the format specifier for the integer value. So as we are going to print the integer value that is 10, so instead of num, we should use %d to print the value of num, that is 10, right? Clear this. So the number is, instead of num, keep it as %d and close it. But how the compiler know that whose value should be printed at the place of %d, right? For that, we should mention the variable name outside the double quotes, that is at here, means the value of num separated by a comma, right? And close the bracket and put a semicolon. So this is the way to write a printf statement to print a value that we have declared as a variable. Now instead of num, it will print 10. The number is 10. 10 because this %d represents the num value. Let's see this in the code. So here instead of num, let's keep it as %d as the format specifier for integer value, and then comma, and mention the variable that whose value should be printed at the place of %d, that is num. So now let's run this. Yeah, the output like the number is 10. Now we got the exact value, that is the value of num. So in this way we will print the value of the variable, right? But what if we have multiple values to be printed on the same printf statement? Like if we have num1 is equals to 10 and int num2 is equals to 20, and if I want to write like the first number is, so to print that value we should include the %d, and second number is, again for the value we should include %d. So previously we have only one value, so we have mentioned only one format specifier, that is %d. But now we should print two format specifier, that is 2%d. For that we need to mention the first variable as the first number to be printed in the printf statement. Like we have the first number is %d. It instead of first %d, what number should be printed? The number 10. So we should write num1. And the second number is %d. Instead of this second %d, we should get the value of num2. So include num2 by separating a comma, that is num2. So this is the way to represent the printf statement if we have multiple values to be printed. Like this first %d represents the first variable, that is num1, and the second %d represents the second variable name, that is num2. So if I going to run this, yes, the first number is 10 and the second number is 20, right? Yeah. So I want to show you one thing. So let's create another file, that is scan.c, and let's copy this and paste here. And let's clear this. And I am going to define a variable int age is equals to 21. I want to print this value like printf your age is percentage d, the format specifier for integer value, and then the value of the variable, right? So this is going to give me like your age is 21. Okay, it's clear. But if I run it again, going to give me the same value, that is 21. Again 21, like this. But this is printing the value in a static way. But I need the value to be printed as in dynamic way. What is meant by dynamic? Dynamic means the value should be different at each run. Means like here the age is just 21 itself at every time. Like it should ask the user to give the input of age and it should print it dynamically. Means if the user gives the age as 20, it should be print 20. If the user gives the age as 30, it should print as 30, like this, in this dynamic way. So to print like this, first we need to take the input from the user, right? To take the input from the user, we have scanf function. So how to use this scanf function? Let's see it. So coming to the scanf function. So scanf function is used to take the input from the user. That is to take desired input. Let's say this is main function and I'm just declaring the value. I'm not defining it. Means I'm not initializing the value like int age. So I'm not giving the value because we need to take the value from the user. That's why just I'm only declaring the variable. I'm not defining it, right? Let's ask the user to give the input. For that you need to write the printf statement like printf enter your age. Now it's time to take the input. For that you need to use scanf. So in the double quotes instead of this statement, you should give as the format specifier of the variable that you are going to take the input of. Like as you are going to take the input of age is of integer type, so you need to mention as percentage d and close the double quotes and comma, and should give the name of that variable that you are going to take the input like age. But here you need to include one more thing, that is ampersand. This is because this ampersand will give us the address of the variable. Address means the location of that variable inside the memory. So when the scanf takes the input from the user, it need to locate it somewhere inside the memory, right? That's why we need to mention ampersand age, means address of age, right? And close the bracket and semicolon. So this is the way to take input from the user. And then we need to print this, right? For that, printf your age is, again for printing the value we use percentage d double quotes comma and the name of that variable, that is age. Close the bracket and semicolon and close this. So let's see this on the code. So let's kill this, and here first you need to just declare a variable. You should not define it, means you should not give the value. Okay, and printf please enter your age. Okay, and a semicolon, and then a scanf function that takes percentage d, the integer value, as the input variable, and don't forget to mention the ampersand. and semicolon. And at the end, you need to write printf your age is like percentage d, and then the variable in the semicolon. And at the end, you need to mention return 0. So observe carefully. I'm going to run this. Yes, it's showing that please enter your age. And if you click here, so the cursor is blinking, right? So it's not going further as we have two printf statements, right? It's executed only first printf statement. Please enter your age, and it's not gone beyond this scanf statement. This is because it has been stopped there at the scanf statement to take the input. So it is waiting for the user to give the input. If the user gives the input and click enter, then it will go further and print the another print statement. Okay, so let's give the age 21 and click enter. Yeah, you got the output, right? And the second printf statement that's saying that your age is 21. And this is the way to take the input and to give the output, right? Till now we have discussed about the taking input and printing output for a integer data type, that is int. But now we will discuss about format specifiers for different data types other than int. Okay, coming to short int, we use the format specifier percentage hd. And coming to long int, we use percentage ld, that is small l and small d. Coming to long int, we use format specifier as percentage lld. Coming to unsigned int, we use format specifier as percentage u. Coming to unsigned long int, we use format specifier as lu. And for unsigned long int, we use format specifier as percentage llu, right? So these are the format specifiers we use for different data types that belongs to int family. Okay, moving further, coming to float data type, we use the format specifier as percentage f. Like in printf statement, we use like the value is percentage f, comma, and the name of that variable, like this. And in the scanf, we use like percentage f and then ampersand num. It's the name of the variable. So this is to print the value of float data type, and this is to take the input of a value of float data type. Okay, let's see this on the code. Okay, and let's create a file that is float.c and paste it and clear this. This is because to save the time, I'm just printing it to include the header file and to include this main function. Okay, so let us declare a variable of float data type, that is float c gpa. And now I'm going to ask the input from the user like printf enter your c gpa, like this, a semicolon, and then a scanf to take the input from the user like percentage f. Percentage f is the format specifier for float data type. So as we are taking the input of float data type, so we are mentioning the access specifier as percentage f and mention the name of the variable, that is C GPA, and don't forget to put ampersand to give the address of it and put a semicolon, and then print the value as your C GPA is percentage f, right, and comma, and the name of the variable, that is C GPA. Okay, and put a semicolon. Now let's run this. It's asking that enter your C GPA. So if I'm going to enter like 9.26, okay, and click enter, yeah, it's showing that your CGPA is 9.26 is 0000. Why this 00? Because it is a float data type. So after point, it will include up to 6 decimal places after point. Float data type is a single precision decimal number. It holds up to 6-digit decimal places. That's why after point, it's going to mention all the zeros up to the 6 decimal places. But I need only up to 9.26. For that, what should I do? For that, we need to mention here like 0.2f. Okay, this is the way to deduct those zeros after the required decimal places. Okay, like if I going to run this 5642, but it's going to show us only up to 2 decimal places, because as we mentioned that you should show only 2 decimal places by mentioning percentage 0.2f. So that's why it's only mentioned up to 2 decimal places, 9.56. Okay, if I need 3 decimal places after point, it will give us like 9.5642 and click enter. So it's going to show us up to the 3 decimal places after point. Okay, so this is how we use float data type with the format specifier percentage f to take the input and to print the output. Okay, coming to double data type, we use the format specifier as percentage lf. So percentage lf is the format specifier for double data type. Okay, and we also have long double, right? For this, the format specifier is percentage capital L and small f. Let's see this on the code. So let's create another folder, that is double.c. I'm printing this and clear this. Now I'm going to declare another variable like double pi. Okay, and taking input, but first we need to ask the user, right? Like printf enter the pi value, and for taking the input we use scanf, and in the double quotes we use the format specifier of the double data type, that is percentage lf. Okay, and then comma ampersand pi. Okay, so after taking the input we need to print the output, right? Printf the value of pi is like percentage lf, and then and the name of the variable, that is pi, and a semicolon, and at the end return 0. So let's run this. So it's asking us the enter the pi value. So what is the value of pi? we know that 3.1415929. So this is the value of pi as I'm entering, and click enter. Yes, it's showing the output as the value of pi is 3.1415993. So it is showing 93 because it is rounding the decimal places, like we have at the end 9 to 9, right? So that's why it's converting the 2 9 as 3. Okay, it's rounding the values. Coming to char data type, we use the format specifier as percentage %c. So percentage %c is the format specifier for character data type. Okay, let's see this in the code. Kill this, and let's create another folder, that is char.c, and paste it and clear this. So here I am going to declare a variable of char data type, like char grade. Okay, now I'm going to take the input from the user. For that, first you need to ask the user, like printf, please enter your grade. Okay, and bit a semicolon. And here take the input from the user, like scanf percentage %c. So percentage %c is used to take the input from the user of char data type, and then mention ampersand and the name of the variable grade, and put a semicolon, and then print the output printf, your grade is percentage %c, comma, and name of the variable grade, and put a semicolon, and at the end of it mention return 0. So let's run this. So it's asking to enter the grade. Let's give it as capital A and click enter. Yes, it's showing the output as your grade is A. So in this way we use the percentage %c as the format specifier for the char data type to print the output and to take the input. Okay, coming to string data type. So we don't have a string data type in C, but as it technically called as character array. So we will discuss about array in the upcoming videos. And coming to the string, we use the format specifier as percentage %s. So let's see this in the code. So kill this and create another file, that is string.c, and here let's declare a variable. We don't have a string data type directly, but indirectly we use by character array. So what is character array? Means the array. What is meant by array? Array is the collection of similar data type. So in the same way, the array of characters is known as character array. All the characters group together form a string. That's why we use character array for the string data type. For that, you need to mention the data type as char and name of the variable as name. Let's say name. Okay. Array is a collection of similar data types, so we need to mention the size in it. Means how many elements we are going to give inside it. Like this, I'm mentioning it as 20 as a size, and then put a semicolon. So this is the way to declare a character array. To take the input, first we need to ask for the user, right? So printf, please enter your name, and the semicolon. Then a scanf to read the input. We need to mention the format specifier of a string, that is percentage %s, and then listen carefully, as it is a character array, so the name itself act as the address of that array. So here at the scanf for the string, we no need to mention the ampersand. So ampersand is not needed for the string. So we need to directly give the name as we give in the printf statement, and then a printf statement to print the output. Your name is percentage s comma name, and put a semicolon, and at the end of it mention return 0. So let's run this. So enter your name, like I'm entering like Jack, and click enter. So it's showing that your name is Jack. It's working. So in this way, we use the format specifier as percentage s for the string to take the input and to give the output, right? But what if I give the name with a space? Like if I'm going to run this again, like if I give like Jack space Jack Sparrow, so it's taking only the first one. After space, it's stopping taking the input. So scanf will take only up to the space. Okay, it stops taking input after space. So to overcome this, we have another function, that is fgets. So here we need to mention the name of the variable and then size of that variable and then stdin, standard input. So this is the syntax to mention the fgets function to take the entire input as a string even if there is a space in between the string. So let's comment this as we have another function to take the input. So let's run this. So it's showing enter your name. I'm entering as Jack Sparrow and click enter. Yes, now it's taking the entire input even if there is a space in between it. So this is all about the printf and scanf functions in C that we have discussed today. Tomorrow I am going to discuss about the operations in C. So let's meet in the next video. Till then, take care and keep coding. This is Captain Jack signing off.